Hollywood, Gaslight also ran as Angel Street in Broadway. Katyayani brought it to the Indian stage this month in a riveting production. Our report. Gaslight is a psychological thriller based in Victorian London. Patrick Hamilton, its author, was an English playwright and novelist. He had a distinctive style, deploying a Dickensian narrative voice, which involved strong sympathy for the disadvantaged as well as acerbic black humor.
Muffins! Muffins!
Gaslight was filmed twice by Hollywood and won the Swedish actress Ingmar Bergman a coveted Oscar. It also ran in Broadway as Angel Street. Bella Manningham, a young, typically submissive Victorian wife, thinks she is going mad because she can't explain the mysterious disappearances of familiar objects, sounds of footsteps in an uninhabited part of the family home, and the ghostly flickering of the living room gas lights. Her husband, Jack Manningham, an arch-villain, is obsessed with finding the jewels belonging to an old woman he once murdered. Driving his wife to the brink of insanity is part of a plot to help him recover the lost jewels. But salvation materializes for Bella in the form of a semi-retired detective called Sergeant Ruff, who slowly unravels the mystery with the help of Bella. Though the premise is simple, the stroke of genius in this suspenseful and gripping play comes from the dipping of the gaslight in the rest of the house when Manningham makes secret nightly trips to the attic to search for hidden treasure. The light adds to Bella's psychological torment and the satisfying murk of malignancy.
What are you doing, Bella? Come here.
Only for tea, my dear. Muffins for tea.
Muffins, eh?
Yes, dear. He only comes so seldom. I thought I might surprise him.
Why are you being so apprehensive, Bella? I was not about to reproach you.
Yes, dear. I know you weren't.
Will you ring the bell, dear? This fire's in ashes.
Yes. Is it merely to put coal on, my dear? Because I can do that.
Bella, we've had this out before. Just ring the bell.
But dear, Lizzie's out on the street and I can do it so easily.
No. Call the girl. Where's the girl?
But my dear, I just...
Bella, ring the bell. That's a good girl. Why do you suppose we have servants, Bella? Go on, answer me. Why do you suppose we have servants?
To serve us, I suppose, Jack.
Precisely. Then why do we need to have
I
this
think we should consider them a little, that's all.
Consider them. There's your extraordinary weak-mindedness again. You speak as if they were for no consideration at all. I happen to consider Elizabeth to the tune of £16 per annum, and the girl 10. £26 in total. Now, if that is not consideration of the most acute and lively kind, I wonder what is.
Yes, Jack, I expect you are right.
I'm absolutely right, Bella. It's weak-mindedness to think otherwise.
In fact, the term gaslighting came into being after the play opened to rave reviews in the 30s. It acquired the meaning of ruthlessly manipulating an individual for nefarious reasons into believing that they are going crazy or imagining things.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I thought the bell rang.
Yes, we did ring the bell, Nancy. Go on, Bella. Tell her why we rang the bell.
Yes. We would like some coal on the fire, Nancy. Please.
While you're down there, Nancy, will you turn on the gas as well? This afternoon darkness is getting too much to endure.
Yes, sir.
You're looking very impudent and pretty this afternoon, Nancy. Did you know that?
I don't know that at all, sir. I'm sure.
What is it? Another broken heart added to your list?
I wasn't aware of breaking any hearts, sir.
Now that's untrue. And so is your complexion. What lotions do you apply to enhance your natural beauties?
I'm quite natural, sir. I promise you.
Though the play is based in Victorian England, the tone of it is more 1930s than 1880. and the style of acting required is more natural than melodramatic. Though not a feminist play, Gaslight is a marvelous portrait of a desolate marriage. Brought to the Indian stage this year by Katyayani, the play performed more than 30 years ago as a Yatrik production with Sabina Mehta and Marcus Murch in the lead. Murch is no more, and Sabina, now known as Sabina Mehta Jetli, is a respected theatre director.
That girl laughs at me enough already.
Laughs at you? What makes you think she laughs at you?
Oh, I know she does in secret. In fact, she does so openly. More openly every day.
No, Bella, if she does laugh at you, don't you think you're to be blamed for that?
You mean that I am a laughable person, Jack?
Oh God, Bella, I don't mean anything. It's you who keeps reading meaning into everything I say. I just wish you weren't such a perfect little silly. I do believe, Bella, sometimes you imagine things.
Oh, no, I don't, Jack. We've been too familiar with her. Oh, Jack, I just love the way we're sitting. You on one side and I on the other. Like two children in the nursery.
You're very pleased with yourself, aren't you? I shall take you to the theatre more often if this is the result.
Oh, Jack, I wish you could.
I wonder why we don't do it more often. I never liked anything more as a child. In fact, I believed I could be an actor one day.
I can well believe it, Jack. Come, have your tea now.
It must be a superb sensation, Bella, to lose oneself in a character. I flatter myself to think that I could have made it.
Of course you could, Jack. Anyone can see that.
No. Really? Of course, one would have to get proper training, but I do believe I could have made it to the top of the tree. What's that line? To be or not to be? That is the question. It is nobler in the mind to suffer slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or take arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing, end.
Jack! You see how fine your voice is? Oh, you've made a terrible mistake.
I wonder.
Then if you had been a famous actor, I would have had a free seat to come and watch you every night of my life, and called for you at the stage door afterwards. Wouldn't that have been paradise?
A paradise you would have soon got bored of, madam, and would be at home in the evenings, I'm sure, as you are now.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. I would have to keep my eye on you for all the hussies that would be after you.
Really? There would be hussies after me? Now that's an added inducement.
Yes, I know it, you wretch. There you are. Aren't you glad I thought of that?
Mm-hmm.
You want some salt. You want heaps of it. What is it, Jack?
Bella, I don't mean to upset you, but I've noticed something very much amiss. And if you rectify that mistake, we shan't talk about it any further.
A miss? What's a miss, Jack? You've left your tea.
You know what I mean, Bella. Now, if you'll put it back from where you've hidden it, we shall not talk about it any further.
No, I do not know what you're talking about, Jack. What is it? Tell me.
What I'm talking about is behind me on the mantelpiece, Bella. Now bring it back from where you've hidden it, and we will not talk about it any further.
Jack, please don't call that a girl, and I'll say anything. I'll say that I did it, Jack. I did it.
Leave.
Please don't call her in.
Go of me and sit down.
Jack.
I will not tell you again, madam. It will do you well to control yourself.
Yes, sir. Did you want me, sir?
Oh, I do want you, Nancy. Nancy, if you'll notice behind me on the mantelpiece, there's a picture which is missing.
Why? My words. So it has. What a rum go.
Nancy, kindly answer the questions you're asked and try and be less insolent. Have you removed the picture from its proper place?
Me? Of course I didn't. What should I want to move it for, sir?
Go to that desk, pick up the Bible and kiss it. As a
Willingly.
solemn oath to your truthfulness.
Willingly, sir. If I'd done it,
That will be all, Nancy. There. I think we can conclusively deduce that nobody else has removed the picture.
Give me that picture. Give me this Bible. Let me kiss it too. There. Do you see that I kiss it?
Be careful of what you do. You want to commit sacrilege above all else.
It's no sacrilege, Jack. Someone else has committed sacrilege. Someone else. I did not do it. In the name of God, Jack, I didn't take the picture.
Well then, by God, madam, you are going crazy. Just like your wretched mother before you.
You're going to say that I made it this.
What is this new trick you're playing on me, Bella?
It's not a trick, Jack. I put it there this afternoon. This is a plot.
What?
This is a filthy plot. You're all against me.
If you utter another sound, madam, I will knock you down and lock you in your room for a week. Do you understand me? Now, I've been far too lenient with you, and I'm going to change my tactics. Now, I'm going to leave immediately, Bella, and I will return at 10 o'clock. Upon my return, you will find that bill and agree to me that you have wickedly and maliciously hidden it. You're going to see a doctor, madam. You're going to see more than one doctor, and they shall decide what's the meaning of this. Do you understand?
Be kind to me, Jack. Be kind to me.
I have been kind to you. Now it's time you control yourself.
Jack! Please don't go, Jack. Don't leave me. You're still going to take me to the theatre, aren't you?
What a time to ask me that question. No, I'm not. Emphatically, I'm not. You play fair by me, and I'll play fair by you. But if you and I are to be enemies, you will soon realize that it will always be me who gets out on top.
The cast was headed by seasoned actors of the English stage in Delhi. Dhruv Jagasia played Jack Manningham, Jyotsna Sharma played Bella Manningham, the role that won Bergman her
God
award.
have mercy on me. God have mercy on me.
And Vishal Sethia played Detective Sergeant Ruff. Subhashini Sood and Shifali Kumar gave good support to the three with their portrayals as the domestic staff Elizabeth and Nancy.
Madam? Madam?
Yes. What is it, Elizabeth? I don't want to be disturbed.
Madam, there's somebody called.
Tell him to go, Elizabeth. I want to be left alone.
It's a gentleman, madam. He wants to see you.
He's come to see my husband, Elizabeth. My husband is out.
No, madam, he wants to see you. You must see him, madam.
Tell him to go. I want to be left alone. Leave me alone, Elizabeth.
Oh, madam. Madam, I don't know what's going on between you and the master, but you've got to hold up, madam. You've got to hold up.
I'm going out of my mind, Elizabeth. That's what's going on.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. You've got to be brave. You mustn't go on lying here in the dark or your mind will go. You must see this gentleman. It's you he wants to see, not the master.
This was the premiere of the show held at the Epicenter in Gurgaon. The group plans to bring the play to New Delhi next year. We're going in for a brief break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the State of Culture and the suspenseful Gaslight.
How do you do, sir? I'm very much afraid
You're very much afraid you don't know me from Adam. That is about the root of the matter, isn't it?
It's not that. But no doubt you've come to see my husband.
Oh no, you couldn't be further out. On the contrary, I've chosen this precise moment to call on you, when I knew your husband would be out.
What have you come to talk about?
You can be certain of one thing, ma'am. I haven't come to talk to you about the weather. Though that indeed merits a world of comment at the moment. But you're running away with things, Mrs. Manningham, and asking me a great deal I cannot answer at once. Instead, I shall ask you a question or two. Now, please, will you come here and give me your hands. Now, Mrs. Manning, I want you to take a good look at me and tell me if you see someone to whom you can give your trust. I am a perfect stranger to you, and you can read little besides that in my face. But I can read a great deal in yours.
What? What can you read in mine?
Why, ma'am, I can read the tokens of one who's traveled a long distance on the path of sorrow and doubt, and will have to, I fear, travel a little further before she comes to the end. But she's coming to the end for all that, I fancy. Come now, won't you listen to me and trust me? I'm much older than you know. You've never heard of the celebrated Sergeant Ruff, madam? Sergeant Ruff, who solved the Claudessley diamond case. Sergeant Ruff, who hunted down the Camberwell dogs. Sergeant Ruff, who brought Sandham himself to justice. Or were these sensations much before your time?
Sandham. Yes, I have heard of Sandham. The murderer, the throttler.
Yes, Sandham the throttler. And now you have in front of you the man who gave Sandham to the man who throttled him. And that would become the common hangman, ma'am. In fact, Mrs. Manningham, you have in front of you one who was quite a personage in his day and age. Believe it or not.
I can well believe it. Won't you sit down?
Thank you. How long have you been married, Mrs. Manningham?
7 years and a little.
And where have you lived during all that time?
Why, first we went abroad. Then we lived in Yorkshire. And then 6 months ago, my husband took this house.
And does he always leave you alone like this in the evenings?
Yes. He goes to his club, I believe, and does business.
So you believe.
Yes.
Well, and does he give you a free run of the whole house while he's out?
Yes. Well, no. Not the top floor.
Ah, not the top floor. So there's a bedroom above this, and above that is the top floor. Is that right?
Yes.
Tell me, Mrs. Manning, have you ever been up to the top floor?
No, never. It's shut up. My husband is forbidden it.
No one goes there, not even a servant to dust?
No.
Rather funny.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
If you will follow me patiently. Her name was Barlow, Alice Barlow, and she was an old lady of decided eccentricities and of great wealth. Her principal mania in life was the protection of cabmen. Now, you might find that an extraordinary hobby, Mrs. Manningham, but in her odd way, she did a lot of good. She provided shelters, clothing, pensions, and so forth to these men, and that was her contribution to the sum of the world's happiness, or rather, a little stand against the sum of the world's pain. There's a lot of pain in the world, you know, Mrs. Manning. Well, it was not my privilege to know her, but it was my duty to see her just on one occasion. And that was when her throat was cut open and she lay dead on the floor of her own house.
Horrible. Was she murdered?
Yes, she was murdered, Mrs. Manning. I was a comparatively younger officer at the time, but it made a lasting, though I must say horrible, impression on my mind. The murderer was never discovered, but the motive was obvious enough. The Barlow rubies